What's up, everybody? I'm Tucker, and this week we're going to be talking about Marvel's big movie announcements. Now, 2 weeks ago, DC had announced their slate of their 9 movies that are coming out between now and 2020. So then, this past Tuesday, Marvel decided to do the same thing and said everything they're going to have for their Phase 3. So I'm going to do the same thing I did a couple weeks ago and just kind of go over each movie, give you the dates, a little bit of background info for each one, that sort of shindig. So let's get right to it. And yes, I am wearing a Batman shirt to talk about a Marvel movie, but Friday's Halloween. It's a Halloween themed Batman shirt, and I gotta stick with my traditions, always wearing Batman shirts, because Batman Thursday. But yeah, that's why. First up, we got Captain America 3 Civil War coming May 6th, 2016. There have been rumors for a bit now that they were going to have the Civil War storyline in some way in the Marvel Universe, and so Cap 3 is going to be the movie to do it. For those of you that don't know, Civil War is this big event comic Marvel did where the government tried to set up a superhero registration act so that all heroes had to sign to the government being like, oh, I am Tony Stark and I'm Iron Man. So they had to reveal their secret identity to the government so they could keep track of them. However, not all the heroes thought it was a good idea, so there ended up being a big rift in all the heroes where Tony Stark was leading the we need to register so that they can keep an eye on us, and Captain America was leading the people who were against it, so he had his own underground resistance of don't give in to the superhero registration acts for the deal. But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, none of the heroes right now really have secret identities. Everyone just kind of out who they are. That doesn't really matter. They've said that's not what it's going to be about. It's just going to be more about seeing who regulates the heroes. So Tony Stark is going to try to convince Captain America that, yeah, we should have someone else above us who kind of controls what we do so that nothing bad happens, like what is probably going to happen in Avengers 2, because Tony Stark is the guy who, in the movies, made Ultron and then caused all this terribleness. And this whole thing is like, we can't control ourselves, so we need someone to control us for us. And then Captain America's like, no way, we're free will. And so that's what the movie's going to be about. This movie will also be the first appearance of Black Panther in the cinematic universe, being played by Chadwick Boseman, who was the star of 42, the Jackie Robinson story. So if any of you saw that, it's going to be him. It's going to be Black Panther. But we'll get to Black Panther in a little bit. They also gave a new date for the Doctor Strange movie, which is November 4th, 2016. They haven't announced any casting for it, but the current big rumor is that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be playing Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme of the Marvel Universe. Big wizardy guy. He was a really successful surgeon, but then some stuff went down, and now he's a wizard. That's his story. They also moved the date for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's now May 5th, 2017. They didn't say anything else about it. Obviously, there was going to be a sequel. Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the biggest hits of the year. So obviously they want to go back to that and make more money. So not a lot to say about that one. They also announced the release date and title for the third Thor movie, and that is Thor 3 Ragnarok, coming out July 28th, 2017. Which coincidentally is my mom's birthday. Fun fact. There was a comic series that was titled Ragnarok, that was a Thor story, but in general, Ragnarok is the Norse mythology's end of the world, when total destruction, everything ends. So something bad is bound to happen if it's Ragnarok. Someone's gotta die, if not everyone. Also, the Thor Ragnarok story had Beta Ray Bill in it, who is for all intents and purposes just an orange dinosaur version of Thor. There's also a cyborg, so he's kind of a weird character. He beat Thor in a fight one time and got his hammer from him, and then Odin was like, oh no, I'll just make you your own thing. So he made him his own, Beta Ray Bill, his own hammer. So he's just like Thor, except dinosaur, alien, cyborg dude. So if they bring him into it, that'll be pretty cool. That'll definitely be worth seeing. Then on November 3rd, 2017, we're going to get Black Panther solo movie, which I said earlier, starring Chadwick Boseman. So that'll be really cool, because Black Panther He's a pretty cool dude. I kind of mentioned him a bit last week in the Avengers 2 trailer because one of his villains showed up in that trailer. So now it's pretty much confirmed that that is indeed the villain everyone thought it was, Ulysses Claw. And so they're going to be leading up to him appearing in Cap 3 and then getting his own movie. He's the leader of this fictional African nation called Wakanda. The vast majority of the world's vibranium, which is this fictional metal, is the stuff Captain America's shield is made out of. It's super strong. Black Panther's home has the biggest sort of source of it. Most of it comes from there. They control most of it. It's not really anywhere else except for there. Everything there is really high tech. So he has a whole bunch of high tech stuff. And he's decked out all black. It kind of looks like a panther. It's kind of like Batman, but more intense. You know, pretty violent sometimes. It's cool that they're doing a Black Panther one because that was one of the big three characters that people have been wanting to see in the movie. There's Doctor Strange, check. Black Panther, he's coming now too, and also Captain Marvel, who they also announced at this same event would be coming. So, segue. The Captain Marvel movie will be coming out July 6th, 2018, and it's going to be the Carol Danvers version of Captain Marvel, who is kind of the recent incarnation. And I haven't read any of her stuff, but apparently she's pretty well liked. I guess she's a pretty interesting character. She can like fly and absorb energy and then shoot it back out. I believe in the comics she got her power from the Kree, who were in Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's a fair chance that that movie is going to connect to the Guardians movies in some way. Maybe it'll start out on Earth, and then Star-Lord will show up and be like, oh hey, aliens and stuff. And she'll be like, oh cool, I got superpowers. Then they'll party or something, I don't know. But we'll see. This will be the first female-led Marvel movie since they've started their whole outline of everything that's going to happen, because we're just ignoring the Elektra movie. Then they're also making an Inhumans movie, which is coming November 2nd, 2018. The Inhumans are kind of like the X-Men. They're an offshoot of humans. For thousands of years ago, they were taken and experimented on, and they have this weird gene therapy sort of deal, I think it was, that turned them into the Inhumans, where it gave them superpowers but also changed their physical appearance, I believe. My understanding is correct. I remember hearing they got cocooned or something at one point, and they came out and they're like, I have powers now, I'm my butterfly self, because I was in a cocoon. They lived in the Himalayas for a while, and they also lived on the moon for a bit. So hopefully they live on the moon in the new movie. That'd be fun. You can have some moon X-Men, but not X-Men, because they can't do that, people. They have a monarchy established among themselves, and their leader is a guy named Black Bolt. His power is that his voice is incredibly strong, so he never speaks, because if he does say something, it's just like sonic boom sort of deal, destroy a whole bunch of stuff. He's just incredibly powerful. So that's kind of a weird power, but it's interesting because they elected well, they didn't elect, well, their king is a guy who can't really talk. A while back, Vin Diesel had been teasing that they were going to do an Inhumans movie, and so people were like, maybe he's going to be in it. So it'd be funny if he was in it and he played Black Bolt, because then one role in Marvel Universe, he says nothing, or maybe he'll say something at one point and boom, things go bad. And then his other role in the Marvel Universe is Groot, a talking tree, who can only say, I am Groot, and spoilers, we are Groot. So he'd have a very limited script were he to be in both of these. But there's not any sort of confirmation that he is in it, just since he talked about it. People are like, maybe he'll be there. Then lastly, they announced that the next Avengers movies after Avengers 2 will be a two-parter, just like the Justice League movies are Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2. The next Avengers films are also going to be split It's going to be Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Avengers Infinity War Part 2. This is where finally Thanos is going to get all the Infinity Stones, going to get the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's just going to mess everything up for everyone and cause a ruckus. They've been building this up for a while. Thanos was the purple guy who appeared in the post-credit scene for the Avengers. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, sitting on the throne, played by Josh Brolin. And he's one of the real big bads of the Marvel Universe. And he's been trying to get the Infinity Stones, which they have shown a couple of in the movies. They had the Ether, the red stuff from Thor the Dark World is one of them. The Tesseract from Avengers is another one. The whole plot of Guardians of the Galaxy was about one of the stones. And then it's believed that Loki's staff that he uses to mind control people also houses one of the Infinity Stones. So that's 4 right there. There's 6 in total, so he needs 2 more. Math right there. He gets them. They also showed a picture of Thanos with the whole gauntlet, and it's got all the gems on it. It's like, this is happening. I imagine that one, at least for part 1, will have a kind of different Avengers lineup, because a lot of their contracts are starting to almost run out. So since it's 2 parts, 2 movies, and a few people like Chris Evans, the guy who plays Captain America, after Cap 3, he's only signed on to do 1 more movie, so that means he could either be in part 1 or part 2. And so I'd imagine he doesn't show up till part 2, because maybe he and Tony Stark are still fighting after Civil War, and then he's finally like, okay, you need help, because Thanos is wrecking you really bad right now. So everyone's going to team up and fight. So that'll be crazy, I imagine. So this is a lot of characters. So that's all the big news that Marvel announced this past Tuesday. 9 movies, just like DC did 2 weeks back. You know, they're fighting. You know, DC said something, and then last week, Ultron trailer came out, and 2 weeks in a row, big Marvel stuff. Good for them, getting on the hype train. Let me know in the comments which of these movies you're most excited for. Maybe you're a fan of Black Panther. Maybe you want to see Iron Man and Captain America beat each other up. Maybe you just want to see everything get destroyed by Thanos. I don't know. You gotta tell me. So let us all know. Hopefully you learned something from this. If somehow you missed this announcement happen, we're welcome for telling you that. If you did hear, hopefully that kind of gave some new knowledge onto some of the movies for you if you didn't know about them already. Be sure to like and share the video with your friends to get them caught up too, so they know what's happening. If you enjoyed it, also make sure to subscribe so that you'll know when the next video is coming out, so you can stay on top of it, come back every week. That'd be great. Have a great Halloween, and I will see you all next week.